Hello and welcome to my studio. In this video I'm going to show you how I made this image. Now making this image employs some techniques and some tips and tricks, so I'm going to go through those throughout the rest of this video. So to start with then, I have already set up on the floor, very low down, a Profoto D2 studio flash. Now I've put it this low down on the ground on purpose because we're going to build the rest of the set over the top of it. So that in a moment. First of all, we have the camera. This has a 24-70 zoom lens on it and is tethered into Capture One software. So for our set, basically what I'm going to do is build a table over the top of this light with a glass top. There we go. And this will form the basis of our table. So once the sawhorses are in place, you can just place a couple of pieces of glass. It doesn't matter that there's a join in the middle, you won't see that. Just across there, just like that. So this forms the beginnings of our set. Now in the image I showed at the beginning, you will have seen that there are some liquids which are fairly saturated in colour. And in order to achieve that, what I'm going to do is place a couple of gels on here and then put over a mask. You'll see what I mean as I do it. So here I have a mask. I'll come back to that in a moment. And here I have a couple of pieces of gel. So what I want to do is basically just place these on the table. Something like that. And then I'm going to place this mask, which I've pre-cut with some holes in it to match the bottoms of the glasses that I'm going to put on top of here. So if I just place this on here like this, you should be able to see that this hole has the yellow gel underneath it, and this smaller hole has the red gel underneath it. The larger hole is just left clear. So at this stage then, we just need to possibly add the glasses so you can start seeing what the final image will look like. So this is the blue jar. Just placing that over the top of the hole. And the same with the yellow and red. There we go. Okay, so the liquid in these jars is just water, but what I've done to make them ever so slightly coloured is add a mica pigment to them. Now these mica pigments that you can buy from art shops and so on are normally employed for painting and drawing and that sort of thing, but because of the mica content, they will reflect in a bit of a weird way the light which is coming up through the bottom of the jar. You'll see what I mean as we carry on. So if I take a test image with it just like this, you'll be able to see how I build up the shot. As I usually do, the first thing I'm going to do is just take a test with no flash just to see what sort of contamination, if any, we're getting at the moment. And there's virtually nothing in there, so that's good, and that's at f8. So if I just put a flash trigger on the top of the camera, just turn that on, take an arbitrary picture. That is the beginnings of our shot, and you can see from that it's probably a little overcooked, but there's also a vast amount of flare. So we need to control all that, and the easiest way is just to mask it off. So I'm just going to use some black cloth and I'm just going to mask off the various bits that we don't need to see. So all this lot at the front, for instance. So I've basically masked everything off apart from the card in the center. So let's take another image and just see what the difference that makes. There you go. So you can see from that you've ended up with a vast improvement. There's very little flare. It's possibly a little bright. I might need to just turn it down. But before I do any of that, I think it just needs to be recomposed in the viewfinder. So I'll just zoom that in a little. We'll just have a little look through here. Check the focus. Take another picture. From the image that you can see here, it is a little bright, and also the depth of field is a little narrow. So I'll just leave the flash energy where it is, but I think I'm going to take the aperture up to f16. I'll just take another test. This might be a little dull. I might have to add some more energy. Or not. That actually looks reasonably good. Okay, so to get the swirling effect in the liquid, they need to be moving. So you need to stir up the mica. So I've got a stirring stick here, and I'm just going to stir up the blue one to start with. Get that going quite well. Not forgetting this is pigment, so you don't really want to get it everywhere. And we'll stir up the yellow one. I'll just shake up the red one. That's the easiest way to do that one. And we'll just swirl that around a bit more just to get it all going. There we are. So with all that moving, just take another image. There we are. We're starting to get there. And we just take a few of these as the liquids calm down. They'll form different shapes. There, I quite like that one. And really, as far as actually capturing the images are concerned, that's it. There is nothing else to do, really. The main technique here is the use of the mica to give you something for the flash to bounce off within the liquid to make it a little more interesting. So for instance, if I were to just swirl that one round, that will concentrate the mica into the middle. So if we take a picture now, there you go. You see that the mica has gone into the center of that particular glass. So as far as capturing the image is concerned, that's about it. It just remains to pick the best of the bunch there and go into Photoshop and do the post-processing. So here we are in Photoshop. And just looking through the image here, straight out of the camera, there's not a great deal that actually needs doing to it, I don't think. So as I usually do, first thing, just make a duplicate layer, like so. Then we'll work on this, this duplicate, this copy, and you've always got the other one to go back to. So if I just have a little look around the image, we'll just zoom in. Okay, there's this curiosity on the top of the yellow jar here. I think that's probably easily remedied just with a patch healing tool. So I'll just draw around that bit like so, and then just pick a bit that I want to pop in its place. Something like that. And deselect that. Okay. I'll zoom back out again. And I think before I go much further, I'll just decide on a crop. So I usually have 16:9 set. I know that will give quite a large amount of dead space around the sides. The other thing is that it's not quite upright. It just needs to be tilted a bit, I think. Something like that. That's better. So, there you have it. It just shows what you can do just by adding a few little bits of mica pigment to water and stirring it up a little, building yourself a set and just taking pictures of it. It's quite a nice result, I think. If you like seeing how I've done these sort of things, do click on the other images as they appear and don't forget to subscribe. And thank you very much for watching.